Tomorrow, No King's Day protests are happening across the country, including more than half a dozen right here on our First Coast. You're looking at video of a similar protest against President Trump in St. Augustine earlier this year. The protests come less than 1 week after the start of anti-ICE protests in Los Angeles, causing the Trump administration to deploy the National Guard and U.S. Marines. Now, according to the No Kings website, tomorrow is, quote, a nationwide day of defiance. We are taking action to reject authoritarianism and show the world what democracy really looks like. Now, before the protest tomorrow, we are hearing some tough words. This one from the sheriff in Brevard County in Florida. It's all over social media. Wayne Ivey said this just yesterday.
If you throw a brick, a firebomb, or point a gun at one of our deputies, we will be notifying your family where to collect your remains at, because we will kill you graveyard dead.
Let's talk now with our legal analyst, attorney Belkis Plata. We do appreciate your being here tonight. People are asking, if you throw a brick or something dangerous at a protest, do police really have the right to kill you? I'm sure there are many circumstances.
Absolutely. There is not just a catch-all of what happens. It's going to be case by case, and the force has to be reasonable depending on what exactly is happening.
And so now let's talk about a comment this week from Governor Ron DeSantis. It went viral like everything else has done this week. He said in a podcast called The Rubin Report, if a mob surrounds your vehicle and threatens you, if you hit one of these people, it's their fault. So that raises this question. I've seen it all over social media. Is the governor saying it's okay to run over somebody in a protest? Is that legal at all ever?
No, there has to be extenuating circumstances, and it doesn't just relate to protests. It's all of the time. If there's a mob around your car, if they're trying to drag you out of your car, if you are in fear for your life, that is a different circumstance. But simply having people surround your car who are doing nothing more does not give you the absolute right to run them down.
Now, going into tomorrow, we talk about this new law in Florida. It's 2021. It's an anti-riot law that's been signed in Florida by Governor Ron DeSantis. So how will that impact things tomorrow, do you think?
So if things get out of hand, which we hope they do not, but if things happen to get out of hand, if there is violence against these officers, if there's vandalism of any sort, the prosecution now has an additional charge with which they can charge protesters, which will create enhanced potential penalties.
And those penalties could mean more jail time, right?
Absolutely.
So if you assault an officer, it used to be, say, 5 years, and now it could be 15 years, so much more stringent, right?
Yes, if they add the additional charges, then your exposure is much greater for a prison sentence.
Let's talk about cell phones now. Let's say that you're at a protest and your friend, let's just say, gets arrested. It's on public property, so you use your cell phone to record it. That's legal, but when does it become illegal?
Sure. So if the police are making a perimeter of some sort to detain someone or a group of individuals and they ask you to back up, if you are involved in what they're trying to accomplish there and you refuse to get out of their way, that they have the perimeter that they've determined, you could be charged with resisting for not obeying a lawful command.
Let's move now to President Trump. He said this week, if they spit, we will hit. Such disrespect will not be tolerated. Now, it is against the law to spit at an officer. We know that. But do the officers have the right to hit back?
Absolutely not. It is illegal to spit on anyone, law enforcement officer or not. It's an enhanced offense if it's a police officer, but they can't just hit you back. That would be retaliation, which they are not allowed to do. If it becomes physical when they're trying to arrest you, that's something separate, but they can't simply just hit you back because you've spit on them.
And so everybody is hoping that it's peaceful tomorrow in Jacksonville, all around the First Coast, all around the country. But do you have any advice for people who do plan to protest?
You know, I would just be mindful of your surroundings. Sadly, sometimes things do get out of hand by other people. Be sure that you are not in a perimeter where things are getting out of hand, where there is vandalism, because if you were involved in a group, it's going to be very hard for police officers to ascertain who's involved, who's not involved, and you may end up arrested before an attorney can figure out to separate whether you were actually a part of that group or not.
All right, we just hope it stays peaceful here, and we'll be in contact with you tomorrow as well. So thank you very much, Belkis Plata, our legal expert. Heather?